guys, it's Ginger Cook with Acrylic Painting Monday, and we're starting a little bit earlier this year. I know that some of you like to get your holiday pictures out of the way. You don't want to wait till the last minute in December to scramble something out.
Especially if you want to make cards out of it.
Particularly if you want to make cards. And I think this is so pretty. It was hard to come up with a new idea for cardinals because, I mean, everybody's put them in the woods and in the birdhouses and whatever. I love this. There sort of implies a building back here. It's like a city cardinal. See, he's on the roof maybe of an apartment building or something like that. And here they've decorated the little window box, and he's found it. And you can see inside the home with this little lantern inside, and you've got some flowers and so forth. And it's a very sweet painting. And we're going to talk about something else today too. I haven't done this before, but well, maybe, I don't know, this is a premiere, so maybe I've done it before, but I actually haven't done it, but maybe you've seen it before by the time you see this one. How's that?
It may be new, it may not be.
This is Ginger speak, so you've done it before, you haven't done it before, but I want to point something out, okay? Let me just, John, can you hand me a little ruler?
Hand you a ruler.
Okay, well, I don't even need it. Never mind.
Oh,
all right. So I'm going to take my chalkboard out here, okay?
Ooh, the 3D chalkboard.
Yeah, the chalkboard. We're going to take the chalkboard out. And I want to point out to you, have a square canvas like this. This is for so many of you who are trying to design your own paintings, okay? Now, the safest thing most people would put the cardinal smack dab in the middle. Don't do that. So let's talk about how we're going to do it. We're going to make something like a tic-tac-toe board, like this. You see that? And this cardinal can either be here, 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 or here. And in our case, the cardinal was right here in this end. So this is where our cardinal is, okay? That's our focal point, okay? Now, one of the things that you don't want to have when you're doing this is you've got some upright lines here, and you've got a window here, okay? And this comes out here like that, okay? And then the rest of this is rest area. This is, your eye gets to rest on this side, okay? But there's a few little kind of hinted branches back here. It's not totally plain, and we're kind of going to imply that. But the main focal point, your lightest light and your darkest dark is going to be in this area. You see that? The bird and the white. And then we're going to have the Christmas balls and so forth. And so basically, with the way the bird is, remember the bird's doing this. It's really a small triangle picture pattern in this, all right? So there's some thought behind it. So what did we learn? We don't put the bird smack in the middle. We don't do this. Well, like this, right? We wouldn't do that. And some of you would do that. And so not anymore, you're not going to do it because Ginger told you not to, right? So let's look up at me for a second, and I want to welcome our moderators and you guys to our premiere show. As you know, some of you who have attended our shows where John and I are part of the live chat, and you know it's me because I'm typing in all caps and spelling all the words badly because I don't type well, okay? I've been typing since the 9th grade, and I don't know why I don't type well, but for some reason, I don't. So just for, I'm not trying to be insulting when I just want you to be able to see the questions. Now, if you have a question, you're going to type it in all caps too, and if you don't spell it so well, as long as we can understand what you're asking. Just remember, we're going to keep the chat as an integral part of the tutorial. We leave the chat up, so when you ask a question, maybe a viewer 6 months from now or a year from now is going to see that chat and say, Sally asked this a question that I had. Thank God somebody asked that question, and we will have answered it. And you see, so you will have contributed to the overall information of somebody else. You've helped another person along the way, not just yourself. So think of your questions that you want answered, and if we don't get around to answering it, you can always use the contact us on our website, acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com, and use contact us and say, I had a question for Ginger, could you answer it on the next show? That's the kind of thing. Maybe you want me to make a video about it. Your input's important. We're up here doing this free YouTube channel, and inviting you to participate, not just in contributions or donations, but with your minds, with your heart, okay? Let's have fun tonight, all right?
Ooh, look at that heart. Love it.
So, now, We've got our reference photos, 12 by 12 canvas, just with some light gray background. And we have our bird drawn in here. Now, I used the red transfer paper, and then we used sort of a, what did you spray this with, John?
That was the Krylon spray this time.
The Krylon spray, because we liked the golden varnish, but it was like, I don't know, how much was it?
Twice the amount of the Krylon.
We're cheap. We didn't want to spend that much money.
Well, because we're just painting over it, just there to protect it.
It's just lightly, so that this doesn't smudgies. And
No,
really
no
with
smudgies.
red, that doesn't. So
And you're not doing a full coat on it. You're doing a mist.
So speaking of smudgies, we're going to take our brush.
No,
and
we're going to
talk about our legacy palette. What's a legacy palette? Well, if those of you who are tuning in new for the first time might not know, but basically these are the Masterson Stay Wet palettes, and what you do is you soak the sheet that comes with it. You get a bunch of the sheets with the kit. You can order extras. You should soak it in water that was originally boiling for 15 minutes, and don't just do one, do several. So then put them in a Ziploc bag, so you don't say, well, I'd paint, but I don't feel like boiling water, kind of thing, right? So then what because this will keep the paint good for a month. We've had it keep it as long as 6 weeks, okay? So what I call it a legacy palette, these are the colors. It's pretty standard colors we're using. I may have used it for a couple other paintings, but it's still good. So I'll just add some more paint as necessary. And therefore a lot of you say, well, acrylic painting is so expensive, I waste so much paint. No need to waste paint. No, don't waste paint. Get one of these Stay Wet palettes. There's a link in to the Amazon store on our website, and just go up there and find those. You will love it. They don't pay us to say that. It's just a good idea. Now, the same thing with the smudgy brushes.
No, boss. First, go back to the palette. Let's do the
I forgot. Yeah, palette. Yes. So we have titanium white, buff titanium. If you don't have buff titanium, that's white, little raw umber, and yellow ochre. Mostly white with a little bit of that. Burnt umber, burnt sienna, phthalo green, phthalo blue, or ultramarine blue, phthalo blue. That is Payne's Gray, which is a combination of ultramarine blue and black, and or just black. And then we've got Hyrule Red. If you don't have that, you can use Naphtha Crimson. This is Cad Red Medium. This is Cadmium Orange. This is Raw Sienna, Yellow Ochre, Cad Yellow Medium, and Titanium White. So that's what you got. Now, because it's going to be, oh gosh, it's going to be, let me just stop for a second and get more props, right?
It is a prop day.
This is our grayscale, okay? Ooh.
Well, it used to be a grayscale.
This is our grayscale, friends. Good thing it's a wax coated, right? All right, so
just for people like you.
For people like me. So, if you're mixing colors, how you use the grayscale, and incidentally, that comes with the gray palettes that I mixed too. Gray matter paper palettes. That's the Jack Richardson's. This comes with the grayscale. Comes with it. And a little color wheel too. So pretty nice for that. So if you're mixing a color, if you took a black and white picture of it, was on this side of the grayscale, pretty much this side over, right? You would start with, it's going to be 99% or 98% white and something else. If it's a dark green, for instance, like yellow and blue make green, but if it was a dark Loden Christmas tree green, you would start with the blue. You start on this side, at your darkest color, and gradually add yellow to it till you got it the color you want. So remember, it's a couple of ways we're going to save money today is we're going to learn to use our grayscale, and we're going to try a Masterson palette, Stay Wet palette. So that being said, all these things being said at the same time, it's hard to imagine, isn't it? Let's mix our colors. So I'm going to start with white, like that, because I told you it was going to be mostly white. I'll have to put some more out in a minute, right? Mostly white, and then I want a little bit of phthalo blue, like kryptonite. See? Look at that. And I'm looking at that thinking, that's pretty good. Now, if you wanted this to be grayer, because this is kind of bright, right? Look, you can see that, right? Next to the picture. I want it to be grayer. I can do two things. I can add Payne's Gray, or I could have added the complement of blue, which is orange. So I'm going to add a little bit more gray color to that. Just a little Payne's Gray. Gosh, look at that. Isn't that the color right there? So
close to it.
So, and it'll dry darker. So let's just start up here like this using our smudgy. Come around our bird, making these little circles. I don't have any water on the brush, just a smudgy. This is our first layer of paint. Not counting the gray that's on there already. Kind of thin, but that's all right. We'll come around here and do that. Like just make the little circles. Now I'm sort of out of paint, and you notice I didn't have. I kind of used up all the white too. Did you notice that? I mean, you must have seen it, right?
I did immediately. You used it up.
You used it up. So, but that's right. We have a nice tube of it here, and we'll put some back now. A little note, the longer the paint stays in a Stay Wet palette, the moister it becomes. So if you need something a little thicker, you might want to just put the paint out on a regular palette like this before it has a chance to absorb some of that moisture. A little bit of phthalo blue. See, a little bit of Payne's gray. There you go. Look at that, same color. Wow. Okay, notice it's not quite as translucent because it hasn't been sitting on the Stay Wet palette. See how it's just a little bit more viscosity? It doesn't come on up here and almost do this again. Because now if you were to use water with this, you would just start erasing the color. Okay? So a lot of people think, well, I will just go further, I'll just add some water to it. Don't do it. Because that's why you'll do it. It reminds me, when I grew up in Seattle, Washington, I don't know if there are cardinals up there. I don't remember ever seeing them as a kid. And then for years I lived in Aspen, Colorado, so that was at 8,000 feet. I don't know if they live up there either. I never saw one. In fact, have I seen any in Texas? Maybe. But a lot, like my friend Liz Clark, she lives in
Georgia.
Up in the mountains in Georgia. And she feeds them, man. They sit on, she has a porch that's way high off the ground, kind of on a cliff. Their house is a little bit on a cliff, and she feeds all the birds. And one day she said she had all these cardinals out. There was a ton of them, they've lived there about 30 years, more cardinals than she'd ever seen in their whole time they were there. So the word got out. Liz feeds us. The word got out. Now, this is a little darker down in here, so I'm going to take ultramarine blue with that. A little bit of that color. Ultramarine blue is not so much like kryptonite like phthalo blue, so I need a little bit more. See, I've changed the blue here as I come down here like that.
A little bluer.
And this is one of the few times, if you're going to make this into a Christmas card, you have our permission to do the prints. Okay? So I'm going to get a little bit more of the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to come up here like this while this is still wet and put some shadows in here like this, keeping in mind that when you do this, that will lighten the color slightly because the bottom color is a little bit still damp. Okay, just kind of lift it up like that. All right, and let's see, where else can I put this color? That's what you always ask yourself too. Where else can I put this color? I paid for it, right? Before it dries up, where can I put it? I'm going to take a combination of phthalo blue and ultramarine blue and do that. And I'll see a little bit more phthalo blue in that. Okay. Now let's take some buff titanium and put with that. That's an interesting color. Yeah, that's because the buff, it has a little bit of brown in it. Okay. So this is a little brighter. I'm going to kind of just using like I'm sketching and pull this up here like that.
That smudgy really gives a good effect, doesn't it?
Just so fast, such a good effect. And maybe up here a little bit darker too. I think I need a little bit of ultramarine blue with that one though. Put a little bit of that color with this there up here. Yeah, let's just slightly change the blue. Okay. And I want something a little darker under here still, so I'll just, sometimes you have a little more paint on the brush, you can just kind of roll it and you'll see that. And you see how we're doing this background. And now this is sort of interesting. If I take a little bit of white and add to this, right? This right here is almost like it's, let's take a little bit of white all by itself. See how I'm kind of doing this? indicating this might almost be a snowbank that's here like this. We don't know. Okay. I want something a little lighter up here. Just pull your brush up. And then I want to suggest that there's a building up here, and to do that I'll have to dry the background. So rather than do that, I'm going to just change direction, get another smudgy, and I'm going to take some burnt sienna and yellow oxide, and I'm going to go ahead and cover the window. Now I just don't, the thing about these smudges is, I mean, look how fast that puts the paint on. You don't get any brush marks or anything. It just smudges it on. And that is not the official word for these, but that's what I call them, so that counts, right?
It has to.
Because I've decided
You're
that's
the
what they're
queen.
called. Okay, so I've got some smudgies in here. That's just in seconds I've done that, right? Now, I'm going to take some buff titanium while the brush is still dirty and raw umber. My brush is still dirty, and I'm going to do this. And so this is the color I want right here for this part of the window. Look at that. Isn't that neat? And I need, this is going to be here, and then there's a dark line inside we didn't draw in, so it's all right. We know where it goes. All right, so that goes there, okay? So then I'm asking, where else could this go? So if I put a little bit of white with it and just mix it over here on the, I'm going to just suggest that there's a building here. And then put a little bit more white with that. And then kind of make it an angle down here like this. Just suggesting this. Not all the way down. Just saying that this is probably my building. And take a little paint across the top like that. Okay, and then just something over here. And as long as I've got that color, let's put some of this in here too. Something lighter by the bird. Okay, so you see how we've just, amazing, like that works so well. And then let's some raw sienna here. Okay, with me. I haven't done anything, just some raw sienna. And I'm going to come under this ledge here and do a few little shadows like this with this. Just when you do it, pull and then lift up. Okay, you may not see how I'm doing that, but I'm pulling and lifting up like that. I'll put a little bit, a little bit more here in a couple places. This doesn't all have to be the same color. Okay. So, all right, so that goes in water. Let's take a little angle brush now and kind of fudge the building a bit. Take some blue and white. Okay. I'm going to come in here like this. Go across here like this, just to indicate that's a building.
It's just far in the distance in the mist.
Yeah, you barely see it, so I can just do a little angle like that. That's all I'm saying. There's a building back there. It's the city, right? And it even goes out. It goes out a little wider than this. Just lift the brush up. This is kind of what you're doing here, like that. Just lift it up and just suggest that building. Okay. So this is still kind of tacky, but I can play with something else. So listen. All right, so burnt umber and a little bit of Payne's gray and burnt umber. And let's paint this dark right here. And I'm going to skip a space like that and do this. go around the Christmas ornament. This is all dark in here like this. This part of our decorations. I think we know that we can put some more ornaments back. I just wanted to keep a couple of them. But I'm going to put a little bit more Payne's Gray and take some green now and just do this as a burnt umber, I think. There, that's pretty dark up in here. You want this as the dark first coat before all the other stuff goes on. So that's when I come up here with that color, like that, and then wipe the brush off. See me doing that just on the paper towel. I'm not rinsing it. And I'm going to take that Payne's Gray now in brown, and I'm going to finish the bottom of the box. Okay, so that's all very well and good. Take a little bit of that green back here over here. So you can kind of, like a coloring book in a way, if you're using thicker paint, you can kind of block in stuff. Now, one of the things that you really want to have is a triangle, because you can use a triangle to figure out where your straight lines are, right? Like, for instance, this is going to be a straight. Can you see how I'm holding up? I'm parallel to the top here, so I know this line is straight. And it's not that wide. Move that over just a bit. This is darker right here. Okay. Off just a bit, but that's all right. We can fix it. There you go. Okay, so that's dark there. And then the other one that's dark, we've got a very dark brown. Take some burnt umber and burnt sienna, kind of combination of those two. And this is dark right here. Probably have to give that 2 coats. But we can do that now. We can just put that in. So it's a little thin because I rinsed the brush. So that's kind of, the paint's a little thin there, but we can work that out, right? All right, and then this is dark here. I'm going to take a little bit of the brown and a little bit of the pyrrole red, and I'm going to come up here like this and make this it's dark, but it's sort of the different part of the the box here. Okay, so put a little bit of gold with that. That's the front of this. Let's put some brown with it. We'll put something over it, but that's the front. So we needed that to be there, okay? And then we needed a dark window ledge right here. More brown and less green. That's just, okay. Okay. So this needs a second coat. Has it dried enough to do it? I don't know. Let's take a little bit of burnt umber and black. Yeah, I think it has. Give it a second coat. All right, this is a good place to stop and evaluate, and we're going to dry it, all right? John has some important messages, so pay attention. Hi, you guys, Ginger Cook here, and these are the paintings that will be drawn for our third quarter, fourth quarter. Yeah, wow, the days are going by fast, and so did this year for our scholarship fund. For those of you who have been contributing at least $25 over the last 3 months, either on YouTube or in our academy, have a ticket in the fishbowl for drawing to win one of these original paintings. And I just love these penguins. That was a Christmas painting we did last year for you. The frames we found on Amazon, they were very reasonable, and Jerry's Autorama, these wooden ones. So just in case anybody asks us, the frames of course, aren't with the paintings. But I think you're going to love the penguins and these cattails. This is one of my favorite tutorials we've ever done on YouTube. I really debated hard whether to put this in there, but we so appreciate your donations. That's what keeps the channel going and allows us to scholarship artists in our acrylic painting with Ginger Cook Scholarship Fund, where they can get personal art coaching and help somebody become an artist. So there's these cattails. You would probably remember this tutorial this year of the Mediterranean window. John, can you zoom in? Look at the texture on this. Can you see all the texture on the flowers? This is such a cool painting. I think you would really love to be able to see all the blending and layers and everything in this. The TV cannot show, or the computer can't show you how marvelous these colors are. Everyone that's ever gotten an original painting from me, of course, these come with certificates of authenticity, has said that the colors are so much more magnificent than what we can even show you here, even though they have been varnished. This was a painting that I did for the Academy, and it's called Michigan House, and it's in the style of Thomas Kincaid. And again, this is one of my favorites. I think that you might really, really love it. And if I just turn this like this for a minute, I'm going to show you. We decided to do the reindeer, and we thought that some of you might enjoy that as a Christmas decoration, and this will be shipped to you in time for Christmas, or because they're going out. I don't know when, John, but first week of December. So we're going to get these to you, and I don't know. This was a YouTube painting. If you haven't seen this YouTube video, we did it on YouTube. I think did we do it on YouTube or in the Academy? I think we did. So anyway, there's somewhere, right? And then finally, let me just show you I'm just going to pop it on top. Here's our the kids on a log, on a farm, and I think that's really. I think this is charming and sweet, and maybe brings back some memories that you have. And anyway, these will be just some of the paintings. Depending on the donations that come in, there'll be a few surprises. And so again, we thank you very much for that. And I must look up here, John, and say that your contributions are so appreciated. They keep the channel going, and also they allow artists to continue with their art education, and that from all over the world. I'm talking globally, and it makes such a difference, and you're part of that. So thank you very much, and we love you guys, and happy holidays. All right. Let's take a little tape now. Just this is artist tape. I think I've got some smaller stuff. I'm going to use that. Not much smaller, but all right. We're going to take some tape, and we're going to tape this window. Hold it tight. Put one side down and then the other. Okay, kind of line up here, just on just to the right of the line here, like that. And we'll do it again. Hold it first here, like that. And figure out what you want, and then take a palette knife. And this is called burnishing. I like to say squishing, but burnish it down like this. And I think I want to do a little bit here too. So this could be a little better. Okay. All right, so what else could we do? We can do, for sure, we can do here. We can do something like this, all right, and something like this, because we have to adjust this little piece of color. All right, so let's make sure that that's parallel. Now, if you're not sure, use your triangle, hold it up, and just see if you got it. I think there were a couple of you guys know who you are that can't seem to put bottles on a canvas and make them straight. Use a T-square or a triangle. You know, everything else is good, and then it's kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa with the bottles. So we don't want to do that. Now, we're going to take a little bit of buff titanium and wipe it off like that on the, okay, and a little bit of burnt sienna and wipe it off like that. I have this on the brush, and I'm going to come on here like this. It's called dry brushing. I'm going to come over and lighten that up a bit. Add a little bit of cadmium orange to tap most of it off. There you go. See that? See how I lighten that up? And then
really makes a nice brown.
And then I've got some blue in Payne's Gray, and I'm going to come up here like this at an angle and say this is kind of blue like that. I don't know why. It's in my reference. I get very fond of references. If it's in the reference, I have a tendency to do it. Oh, I can do that too. I have a little bit of that color on my brush, right? With that light. And let me show you where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right here on this edge. And here too, right like that on that edge. You know, because you always ask yourself, you know, maybe you're not, but you should be asking yourself, where else can I use this color? Well, I can use it here, okay? And I might even make it, I'll put a little bit of gold with that. And like use just the corner of the brush like that. There you go. And like this. You never know, right? Do you? And as long as I'm there, I'm going to just take a little bit of gold, yellow, and it's going to be red, but I'm going to make it yellow first. I'm going to make these balls yellow as long as I'm down in this area. Okay. All right. So as long as I was there, right? You get that, yes? I've got to lighten this up a little bit more here in the window. So you're going to drag this over here like that. Barely touch it and drag it over like that. Okay, it needs a little bit more red in it. Got too white. Okay. Now, so as long as we're there, let's take the dark brown and ultramarine blue. And let's come down here and put this one in. That's burnt umber, ultramarine blue. Okay, so I can take this off now. Nice. So some of you tell me that you can't paint a straight line, and that's just not true. Of course you can. I'm just going to come next to this. I don't want this so perfect. Sometimes you get too many straight lines. It looks weird. So just going to come right next to the tape and do that. So you said we had a kind of a nice edge there. Okay. So we have to dry this first and then we can move on. All right. I'm going to take this piece of tape off and dry this. Now, we probably have 7 or 8 Cardinal paintings of paintings of cardinals, either on YouTube or in our online art school academy, acrylic painting with gingercook.com. So if you're mad for cardinals, it's not like we don't have them. I'm going to do like that. Okay. And come back over here. I'll have to move this one because I want it a little wider than this. Well, okay. Not much wider. Okay, here we'll do a double tape. How's that? We'll just fake you out here and do a double tape. So it's still there, but it's not quite, a little bit more narrow. There you go. Double tape. Now, where did I put the brush? Okay, I'm going to wipe get all the water off the brush, and then I'm going to go in here with the ultramarine blue and black. Our paint's gray and ultramarine blue. We got a little more of that, and we're going to do this. Let's make this a little darker. A little bit of brown with it. Okay. Now, take the tape off. Nice, huh? Got a nice clean edge on that. Then this edge doesn't have anything. Now, where's the middle of this? The middle of this area here, I'm going to eyeball it in, but I think it's right there. Do you think that looks about right, John?
Yeah,
that looks like the middle, right? So I'm going to hold it underneath here. Well, let's dry it, and I'll show you how to do this. This is really easy, okay? You're just going to love it. This is the day about making your life easy, right? So you've got that angle brush, or that triangle rather. You're going to come up here on this, just on this. You don't even have to know where the bottom part is. Just line it up on the top, and this has to be up and down parallel, like that. See that? Okay, that's how you do it. And perspective-wise, probably this would be a little wider than that, so that's even better. So okay, so now before we get too carried away with that, let's put some of these colors in the window that we didn't have. A little bit of light blue and white, right? There's a little bit of that color up here like that. And down in here like that. See, dry brush that on. And then we have some orange and yellow oxide. So let's tap that in here like this. Up here, oh, a little more orange than that. Orange up in this window, and then there was a pot in here like this in this window with some flowers. It's just, I need a little bit more bright up in here like that. There you go, just a little bit of that. As long as I'm in the orange, I could kind of drag some of this color up here too. And always layer colors. And we've got some light yellow. Could have used cad yellow light, but we'll do this right in here, like that. This is pretty light right here. There's some light for that lantern. And this is kind of a little bit of, very little bit of gold right along in here like this. So, and this is how you layer. And then we got a little bit of white and yellow. Really bright back in here. Okay. So to do the flowers, we're just gonna, we should probably dry that. We can do that in a Premiere because it just doesn't take long. Whoops, I lost my thing, John.
You do these?
The top to this hair dryer.
Oh. You can see him.
Get knocked down.
There he is. Got it.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of phthalo green and black. All right. And we're going to use just the tip of the brush in here like this. And we're going to say there's some flowers. And let's add a little bit of yellow to that. And a little bit of white. And I think I'll take a little bit of that brown and make something a little darker on the pot. I think the pot's just in the window here. I think I'm reading too much into that pot. And then there's a little, up here, there's a little lantern. It's doing this. It's just kind of coming down like this. And doing something like this. Probably should have used a detail brush for this, but I can kind of skinny it up a little bit, right? And a little bit of white on the floor. Don't want we don't want to talk about this very much. This is this lantern, and we're just saying doing this. And there's our lantern, and now let's put I'm not going to put the other lines in there, but I will dry. I think the green is dry enough where if I'm very careful, get all the green off the brush. See, if you have green on the brush, then this doesn't work. So we're just coming in with a little bit of white and cad red uh, medium, and just come up here. These flowers are faded, some of these, and then you can just put a few brighter ones. That's in the picture. All right, so we're just implying that there's this flower arrangement here. That's all we're saying. All right. So now, in order for us to do the rest of it, that has to dry, but I was already in the red. So why don't I take some cad red medium and do a layer of paint on the bird. I mean, I'm in this color. It's going to need several coats, so might as well do. I could have painted it white first, but I think I'm just going to, you might want to paint yours white first, but I am taking a chance here and not doing that. And then we've got a dark red, so a little bit of ultramarine blue and red for his tail, which is back here, like this. It's just a little bit darker. And there is some of that color here, too. I can put a little bit of ultramarine blue and red together, and you can make a dark purpley color. And that's going here on this part of the wing. As long as we're doing it, might as well just do that, right? So you're looking at the painting going, we could stop and we could dry all this, right? And we could, right? Or why don't we work on this down here, because that's not wet, right? So we're talking about, we were in the reds already, so I'm going to take some Cad Red Light and paint this ball. Look at how nice look how bright it is over the yellow. See, because compared to what we just did with the Cardinal, just by painting that over yellow, you see the difference in the reds? Okay, just as a, by the way, it does make a difference. I'll take this little color here and I'm going to go, this is my ribbon hanging down like this. Okay. Now we have something very dark, so I've got the red on the brush. So I'm going to come under here. Probably not that color. What do I want? Maybe some orange. Yeah, like that. I'm going to come down here like this with a little bit of burnt sienna. And then come under this like this, and I'm going to bring in these darker colors. Take a little ultramarine blue and bring it in. That'll darken this up. Wipe the brush off, get a little bit of the blue. So this right up to about the ribbon is where this dark stuff is. Okay, that's that. And let's get some dark lines going on here like that. Make this a little darker. There you go. So just a few little layers of this and that, right? So the we've got, let's see, where's that blue smudgy? Here it is. I want to do something here. I'm going to take all the water off of it and just get that color again. And the white, and let's see, I want a little bit of Payne's gray. And more white. All right, so I kind of want this color in here. I want to come next to my building. I think that's important. Okay, and then we've got down here in this corner, we've got some darker, just some darker stuff down here in the corner. We're not talking about too much, but it's down here, just very lightly with that brush. Oh, a little red with that. So this little corner is just a little bit darker. Again, we're not saying anything, we're just saying that's what it is. Okay. Some little bit bluer over here, okay, like that. All right, so we had that smudgy out. Now, the little brush here, we had red on it, so we can do the green. We're going to make the phthalo green and yellow oxide. So let's do that. Let's come on up here and do that. Let's just put this like this so you can see it. And phthalo green and yellow oxide. We got this green color, right? And I'm just going to put a little bit more green and phthalo blue in it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe some yellow. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to take my brush like this and apply some more dark blue greens. We're going to say that this stuff is coming out here on the We got a little bit of buff titanium with that, lighten it up even more. A little white. Because this is wet, so if I go on it, it's gonna...
Just give it a little variation.
Yeah, it's gonna imply that it's we'll stay a little blue with that. You're saying that that's where that greenery came from. Yes and yes? We'll cut into the snow. Snow's going over it. There's a little bit of this light stuff coming under here like this. Not a lot, okay, but there it is, and that's pretty much it. And so you might have to dry that a little bit if you're going to add some more light colors, but that's our greenery, and that's a good idea. Let's just dry that, okay? So let's go back to the window and go ahead and put the rest of our window in. So we've got the tape here. We got the line. We know where it goes, right? Whoops. Okay, the tape's no good. Gotta get a long enough piece where you can pull it at both ends and still have a tail on it. Don't try to get it exact. Just kind of approximate it. All right, now if your brush has been in water, which mine was, then you got to wring all the water out. You don't want water on the tape. Okay, this is this nice dark brown color with a little black. Okay, neat, right? Yes and yes. And now we have to get the cross piece, we have to dry that. And the cross piece is going to come here. It's just below the lantern. Here is where it's going to start. It's got to come over here like that. And let's look at the picture because you got to figure out which the angle is on it. It's parallel to the top and bottom of our picture. This is going at an angle here, but this one is parallel. Interesting. Okay. This is going off to a vanishing point there. It would probably be slightly down, but it's good enough for that. So you can't put the tape on wet paint, so we'll dry that line right there. Yes? Hi friends, you're watching a special premiere video today, and I wanted to pop in and tell you why. This tutorial was filmed ahead of time because John and I are off exploring the world again, hiking mountain trails, visiting art museums, and collecting fresh inspiration to bring home to you in future lessons. But here's the thing, whether we're on a cruise ship or in a wildflower field like this, we never miss a lesson. Our YouTube and Academy videos are always released on time because helping you grow as an artist is something I care deeply about. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe, give the video a like, and make yourself at home. We've got lots of lessons here and even more over in our Acrylic Painting Academy. And even while we're traveling, I still do personal art coaching almost every day for our Red and Purple members. That's right, I'm reviewing paintings, recording video feedback, and cheering you on, one brush stroke at a time. If you're sending your art in for pack or posting in our free Facebook club, I can't wait to see what you're working on. Oh, and during this premiere, if the Wi-Fi is is strong and the time zones line up, John and I love to jump into the live chat. He types like a wizard. Me, I'll be there too, typing in all caps with a few spelling goofs, but it's just me, excited to connect with you. So thanks for being here. Let's paint something beautiful together wherever we are in the world. And then just to be on the safe side, let's take our chalk and our triangle, which we have right here. We know it has to start here. I'll use this side now. Got to go under here like this. Just got to go under here like that. So I'm going to line up this side now with the side of the canvas, right? Okay, see that? I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw the line right here like that. Well, I think it's a little bit high. Good enough. That'll be the highlight part of it. I'm going to lower it just a bit. Not much, okay. Now you probably can, freehand that in. Bought the tape, why not use it? Okay. Come under here with the tape like this. Another little piece of tape like that, and it gets a little white highlight on top of it, so it doesn't, I'm not worried about that little blue line. That's not quite thick enough. Let's make it lower. I put my glasses on. I'm not seeing this. Okay, that's all right. Swish, swish. Again, the brush was sitting in water. Probably didn't need to put it back in the water. Probably could have left it out for this little time. Gonna come under here like this. Goes all the way across to here. That's very important. Don't not put that like that. Get a little bit of blue in this. All right, now I'm just gonna not put the brush in water yet. Just gonna put it to my brush rest. Now let's, well, I've left a, should have left the tail up a little bit. I just squished it all down. I was dumb. Okay, so there it is. Okay. Look at a pretty good looking window now. And then just gonna flash dry this. I'm not gonna, John, don't even bother to mute it. We're just gonna flash dry it. Now we're gonna come up there with a highlight. A lot of times people leave that out of their windows. We want a highlight on that window of sort of like the buff titanium would be the color we would want. Oh wait, that's right where our blue line was. Down here too, we want to do that. Highlight on this window. There you go. And then we're going to just do a little bit of this on it. Just kind of sketch it down a little bit. Okay. And I'll take a little bit of white on this one. There, the same thing here. Okay, and then I'm going to make this a little bit thinner. That lantern thing right here. Make that line a little bit thinner. That's too orange. And then a little yellow in the picture. I love it when you have a picture. It's like when you have a reference, you just don't have to decide. You already decided if it was a good idea to do it, right? Okay. Same thing here. Let's just make this where we're just barely discussing it. And then, believe it or not, we've got a little, there's an and then part to this. There's a little bit of a greenery up here like this in front of it. Okay. And two little berries are like that. Isn't that cute? There you go. That's all there is to that. So we've got a cute window. And now let's, we could do the bird. I think we'll do the bird last, but just save the anticipation of the bird for last, right?
The excitement.
Let's take phthalo blue and white and a little ultramarine blue. And we're just gonna, I don't have enough ultramarine blue out. My legacy color, I'm out of that one. My ultramarine blue legacy, but here's a big tube of that. Let's put it back out. Don't get cheap toward the end of the picture, right? You don't worry about it. You're going to use this palette for something else tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to get a little bit more ultramarine blue with the color I want to mix. I think I'll mix it over here like that. There we go. All right, there we go. Just a little bit more of the red, this ultramarine blue red shade. We're going to paint the snow blue first. Now it's a little bit darker. Let's put a little bit of red with that blue. It's a little bit darker, with like 1%, right? It's a little bit red. It's more a little purpley blue in here like this. Not quite that dark. I'm going to just tap that shadow in here. This part of the snow. So it's not lines. It's sort of tapped in here like this. Okay, and the same thing here. We want to tap that. Okay, it's not quite the color I want. A little bit lighter. And that's my shadow color here. Some of that snow's coming down here like that. Okay, and then when we get into the white and the phthalo, it gets real turquoisey over here, which is touch of phthalo. Gets real turquoise. The phthalo is your turquoise blue color. The phthalo green. We're going to put that right there. Then under the bird, there's a little bit of a shadow. I'm thinking, wow, all these shadows. A little bit darker under the bird. Yeah. And then I've got some blue, which I'm going to just drag on here, just barely touch it. Just some blue on that. How pretty that is. Just sometimes you just do a few little things and it looks right. Okay, so now we have to dry that for the snow, or we can take a break right now, and I'm going to show you a lot of contributions have been coming in for this quarter, and we'll and I'm really so pleased to. I think this is probably the nicest set of paintings that we have done in our giveaway drawing yet. And I wanted to. It's the holidays are coming. How long does the quarter last, John? Till when?
Which one we have? We're in the June,
Christmas.
July, August.
No.
End of August.
No, we're August, September, November. We're at the end of the thing, not the June, July. This is the Cardinal. This is winter. So this is our winter pictures. Okay. These are the winter ones when we're doing the cardinal.
I understand.
So September, October, November. That's this one. Or it's this one. It's the last quarter.
Oh, he's in October.
Yes.
So September, October, November.
Yes. All right. So here you go. Good. So if some of you
Good thing we discussed this.
This was this is
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I do too. It was a YouTube one. If you don't win it, you can paint it. But this is, a lot of people have done this. I think it's so pretty. When we varnish these, the colors will pop out even more. Last year we did this reindeer.
I remember him too.
And so somebody might really enjoy that for Christmas. I think that's really nice. So we've got that one for you guys. Remember, $25 donation during the 3 months, whether it's $5 and then 10 and 10, or 20 and 5 during that 3 months.
You worked with that higher math there, babe.
Yeah, well, as long as you're doing the $25, you could, if you had $100, you get 4 tickets. We're going to have 6 paintings this time, but there'll be
from 6.
So the last person will have a choice of 2. Well, we just left with what everybody didn't want and want them to feel special too. These penguins we did last year on YouTube, aren't they fun? So I think that's a very nice holiday one. This was really from a photograph John took in Michigan. He lived in Michigan. This is called the Michigan House. This is one of my favorite tutorials in the Academy. Thought you would really love that. Here's another. This was a YouTube painting of the 2 kids on a log, just friends like that. We think this is really neat. And then finally, we have the. If you'll remember, we had the. This was a YouTube tutorial, and look at the texture in this and everything of the Mediterranean with the flower box and everything. So those are the flowers. Those are the paintings that your contributions will be drawing for.
This will be our last drawing for the year.
Now I'm going to take some unclean brush because I've had, and I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm going to come up here like this. You see, I don't have any. The brush is dry. I don't have any color on it, and I'm going to tap in the snow. I'm going to just smear that around like that. Still a little wet, but it'll blend just a little bit better then. Let's see, where's our paper towel? You always want to be able to have a towel by you can tap off the excess paint. So here's the light color. I want to cover up any chalk lines. Make this a little bit darker here. All right, so see we've got our snow. Just sort of brush over that with a little texture. You still have the shadow, but it isn't like a quilt or something, right? And then I'll take a little bit of white and yellow ochre, mostly white though. And this is the lighter part of the snow, right by the bird here. Maybe up here like that, where they're getting a little bit of yellow from the window. Yeah, huh? How about that? That's kind of pretty, right? Not that I'm asking for compliments, but I think it's kind of pretty. I think it's pretty. All right. So now back to the drawing board with the bird. All right, so let's take some some Pyro red and yellow, or rather some cad yellow medium and cad yellow. Okay, make sort of a bright orange color. We're going to put that here like this for this wing. Let's doing this, and then we'll get some Pyro red. Put that in there too. Now I'm going to get another coat of Pyro red. Now look here. Ooh, gosh, that's why you tap off, right? Gonna just look at that when you do the next color. That's why we always encourage you to layer, because you just don't understand what you're gonna get if you don't do that. Now, as long as I'm doing red, I'm going to do another coat of red on some of these. All right. And I think I'll put one right here, as long as I'm doing it. You can draw that in if you feel like you need to. And then we have this this red ribbon that's coming out here too, like this. All right. Uh, and there's some sort of little bow here that's like in here, like this. Some ornaments. A little ornament right here. All right, it's kind of a nice arrangement. Whoever was thoughtful and decorated their house looks kind of cute, right?
Makes it
Okay,
charming for Santa's visit.
so let's take some yellow and red here, and just go ahead and paint the beak in the small detail brush. And red are underneath on the bottom part. So that goes to a point. I want to take some yellow and yellow ochre, cad yellow and yellow ochre, and come up here like this. Or roll it off the brush, load it up again. See how we're doing that with just a little brush? Changing brush size. Don't change the brush size. Steady your hand with the bridge if you're having trouble. Change the brush size. Get some darker red here. I want some cadmium orange. All right, so that's fairly careful. Let's see, what if we took some white and red? We said that it's a little bit lighter here in the front. Kind of like a little bit lighter on his cheek right here. Up here too, here up top of his head. And then remember, ultramarine blue and red make a dark red, like a burgundy color. I want to come under here like this. A little bit of a shadow on his tummy too, coming up like that. All right. Now I'm going to take some black And I'm going to come around here like this, and I'm going to make a circle for his eye. Which we will then outline with white. Told you, this is really, you're going to find no trouble painting this at all. You're going to find this is one of the easiest things you've painted this year. And by the time you get around to painting this too, you will have gotten so much better than you were last year because you've been following me for a year or 2 or 10. And you're a whiz at this stuff, right? Okay, and he's got some little feeties that are coming out like this. All right, now still in the black. Gonna make this a little darker here. Let me get some dark blue. Put a little shadow right here. All right, maybe in here like that, some dark blue shadow there. It's coming along, yep. There's a little bit of a shadow right here on this ribbon. And on this one too, it's just a little bit darker right up in here like this on the ribbon. Put a little water on the brush for that. Now, where are we going to put the dark for the, this dark red for the Christmas balls are going to be, it's darker on this side of the Christmas ball. And I've got something really dark here. The board is really darker than I've made it, so I'm going to give the board another coat of paint too. I think it needs that, and then they've got some blue, kind of a dark shadow coming under here like this. All right, now we've got something dark on this one here, like on this side, this ball, and a little bit on that side. And then now I'm going to rinse the brush and get some lighter color here. So I'm going to go for Cad Red Light, or just Cad Red Medium, right? And see how much brighter the ball is if you give it another coat of red. Red's one of those colors, unless you're going to do it white first, you got to go over it several times. All right, now let's see. Here, we take a little bit of white here. Come up here like this on this ribbon. Like a, it's part of the Christmas tree ball. It's still wet. I could dry it right here, but I'm gonna just not. If I have to, I will. But I'm just trying to. I go very carefully and not dry it. Well, listen. Let's just dry it. Why wouldn't we dry it? We can. We have a dryer right here. Let's not be lazy, right? No, no, no.
Hi there, I'm the Acrylic Art Lounge Bear, your sandy paint-splattered guide to a world of creativity. Who says you need a studio to be an artist? Not me. I'm beachside today, but I've painted in the mountains on a cruise ship and once on a picnic table in a forest. That's a long story for another time. In the Acrylic Art Lounge, we keep things simple. Bite-sized acrylic painting tutorials that are fun, friendly, and just the right size for you busy folks. Or busy bears like me. Whether you're new to painting or just need a creative snack between masterpieces, this is the place to be. And between us, even a bear can learn to paint, so what's stopping you? But right now, seniors and artists outside the US. Yep, I'm looking at you, Canada and Australia, and all other countries can join for just $13.95 a month. That's half off the regular price. But hurry. This offer's as limited as my supply of clean aprons. So come paint with me. The world is your studio, and the Acrylic Art Lounge is your launch pad. Join now at acrylicartlounge.com and let your creative adventures start today.
Okay, this is fun actually. So we're going to get out the Posca pen. Okay. Remember how you shake it? You really got to shake it and then kind of push down on it, make sure you're getting some ink out. Now there's a white line around our bird. And a highlight. And then there's some highlights on the wings. And we've got a top of this ornament right here. Top of one right here too. This little top, little square top for the ornament. You guys remember those, right? All right. So then I'm going to take the black Posca pen. I'm going to shorten his beak a little bit, put more black.
Good looking little bird.
Yeah, he's kind of cute, right? Put some of his wings in here like that. Okay, there you go. And then there's just a little bit of a dark line here like this. Like that with him on the mask. There you go. That's you had to have that sort of Zorro mask thing going on, right? Now, put that away, and oh yeah, as long as we're doing it. Mm. Okay. So sort of did, as long as we were doing those, might as well, right? Now, almost finishing up here, you guys. Just, I know it's hard to believe, but we're almost finishing up. So now the trick is to, let's just dry everything one time. We're going to put some branches out here and finish it up, and John's going to find a black frame. It's going to be so good. All right, you see I need some little branches going up here off the side here, like this. This is a light brown, very light. What we've got from here, we've got a little branch that's coming out. Here, and we've got some coming out here too. Put some more of this greenery here like this. It's easy to do ones when this is dry, right? Let's get something very dark over here. And then under this ball, this is dark right here. See how that works? This is dark right here. Light yellow. Some berry kind of things on this. Not going to get too detailed with it, but that's where we're at right now. Now let's get some highlights on the Christmas tree. Light the balls here like this. Kind of curve it around, kind of between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. We're all out of white again. Did you notice how fast that white went? So one little trick when you're having a legacy palette scrape up, if your white's got a little contaminated, you can just sort of scrape it up here like that where you put it. The trick on that. There you go. Wipe it off on something. There you go. Now let's put the white out again. Second layer of white on there. Okay. So, I think he's kind of the ribbon sort of twists here. So this is a little darker on this side, and then there's a little bit of light color right here. And an angle brush is really nice because you can do some stuff with it. You can suggest just with the edge of the brush like this that you can do very thin, fine little branches. Just maybe wet it and then shape it, reshape it like that. And just do on one side, flatten it on one side. Yes, you could use the Posca pen, but you can use the brush like this too. We've got some stuff hanging down from here. And we got some light on this branch like that. Just using the angle brush, you can do stuff like that. I think a brush like this, if you only had a couple of brushes, one like this is just key, a 3/8 inch angle brush. You really want to have something like that. Um, go back up into the snow like that a little bit. So, okay, so this is pretty much how I've envisioned this painting. Let me give it a quick dry.
Let's give it a good dry and we'll put it in a frame.
Put it in a frame, yeah, like that. I think there has to be a little bit more shadow down in here, like this. That's where it helps to go back over it, make sure that you've got your highlights the way they want them. Okay, so I'm going to dry this, and John's going to find a frame, and here's our reference. You can take a good look at it. Okay, John, let's see, where's that? I just set it in there. It's just like, oh, look.
No, we have the kind of semi-clip it or
Okay.
take a quick look. Working with here.
So John's getting that for us. We want to remind you to subscribe and to hit the like button and share this with your friends. We'll do the final touches on the painting once I see it in the frame, kind of get an idea of what I'm working with. But I think that this is going to be easy. I know you thought it was complicated, but I'm pretty sure you're going to feel now like it was much easier than you imagined it to be. Here we go, right? So I think I have to bring the red up a little higher into the kind of underneath the snow, right? Get the pyro red here. Nothing like pyro red. Nothing like it. Just to get the pyro red here. Just that next layer makes such a difference. And then I'm going to make this one a little bit darker up here on the top of his head. Like that. Just a little bit darker. But, well, you guys, I mean, I think we have I think we have our city bird for sure. Don't you feel like we got him? And a little bit of blue in here like that. Something a little darker down in here. I feel like this, we could fuss too much, but I mean, oh yeah, the little bit of light on his beak here like this. A little bit of red in it. There you go. Notice I just pinch the brush like that. Don't rinse it. Then I go. This is. Aha! So there. Not to scare you, but I think Houston, we got liftoff here. We got. I think we got liftoff. What do you think, John? I think we got liftoff.
I think it was great. I think it's great for the holiday. It'd be a great little holiday card.
Yeah, and we gave it to you early.
You had a room there, you can write a little.
Yeah, you could write something in here too. Absolutely. Couldn't you, Don?
I think so.
I think that the big thing is that eye is, the highlight on the eye is a little big. Don't get it too big, right? You don't want it to look cartoony. Okay? Make sure that his beak is coming to a point. Okay. But, good black Posca pen, white Posca pen, they're in our Amazon store too. You can find them easily. But listen, thanks for joining our premiere. Again, share this. Thanks for answering, asking some questions that John and I could answer, and our mods could answer. Thanks our mods for coming. We love you guys. We want you to have the best next day or week or months or years possible. And one of the ways that you can lift your spirit is by painting. If you haven't been painting for a while, just try it again. Do you know what I mean? And remember, we offer personal art coaching if you're Academy member, red or purple. And so if you get stuck, you never have to be stuck. I'm here to help you. And listen, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out. And don't slam the door.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.